Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be a mid-year check-in, go through some stats, kind of check in on my goals, all of that kind of stuff. I've got the bullet journal here, so we're going to go through all of the different things that I have. So first, we have my entire physical TBR prior to 2023. Let's go through how many I've read and how many I haven't. Kingsbane and Lightbringer by Claire Legrand, I have not read either of these. We Hunt the Flame by House of Faisal, I have read this. The Heart Forger by Rinch Pecco, I have read this. The Shadow Glasser by Rinch Pecco, I have not read this yet. Jade City and Jade War by Fonda Lee, I have not read either of these yet. Fool's Quest and Assassin's Fate by Robin Hobb, I have not read either of these yet. Malice by John Gwynne, I have not read this yet. The Mask of Mirrors and The Liar's Knot by M.A. Carrick, I have read both of these. The Sword of Kaigan by Emil Wang, I have read this. The Swordsman's Lament by G.M. White, I have read this. Night Shadow by Sebastian de Castell, I have read this. Saint's Blood and Tyrant's Throne by Sebastian de Castell, I have not read either of these. Jade Legacy by Fonda Lee, I have not read this. The House of Always by Jen Lyons, I have read this. Middle Game by Shauna Maguire, I have read this. The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon, I have read this. The Red Pyramid, The Throne of Fire, and The Serpent's Shadow, I have not read these. The Wolf of Oren-Yaro by K.S. Veloso, I have read this, and it's in the unhaul pile. Also in the unhaul pile is The Bone Ship's Wake by R.J. Parker. The Lies of Lockamora by Scott Lynch, I have not read this. Promise of Blood by Brian McClellan, I started this and I am going to continue, but I have not read it. Thefts of Swords, I have not read this. The Discord of Gods by Jen Lyons, I have read this. An Echo of Things to Come and The Light of All That Falls by James Islington, I have read both of these. Grey Warren by Maggie Stiefvater, I have read this. Black Powder War and Empire of Ivory by Naomi Novik, I have read these. And lastly, Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldry, I have read this. So I think I have 17 on both sides, and then 2 are in the on-haul pile. So this is actually going pretty well. So obviously the goal is to have most of these read. A couple won't be, I know for a fact, but I'm hoping that the majority of these will be read before the end of the year. So I feel like this is pretty good though. This is a pretty good point to be at the end of June. Now on to the next thing was the top 10 books that I wanted to get to in 2023. And this one I'm not doing as well. I'm 40%. So I would want to have one more done, but we're not too bad. So the first one I had on that list was The 100,000 Kingdoms by N.K. Jemisin. I actually only recently bought this. Obviously I am still intrigued about this. I will read it, hopefully, obviously at some point this year. Then we had Paladin's Grace by T. Kingfisher, and I think I've given up on T. Kingfisher, to be honest. And we have The Alloy of Law by Brandon Sanderson. I just don't care about reading these, but I know that I should. Then we have Alice by Christina Henry. I do still want to get to more Christina Henrys because I want to obviously do a ranking all of Christina Henry's books, and I've only read 3 so far. Also on the top 10 I wanted to read was Legends and Lattes, which I read. I gave it 3 stars. I enjoyed it. Also on the top 10 priority was The Bone Season, which is like there. I'm not moving them. So Bone Season, I gave it 4 stars. I liked it, and I now own the second book. Then we have Malice by John Gwynne, which again is somewhere over here. Oh, that was a bad idea. Malice by John Gwynne. I do want to read this, and I do think that I will get to it because I'll be doing my reading my past book hauls, and I think that I haul this in either November or December of 2021. So when I get to that, if I still haven't read it by then, I'm definitely going to be reading it for that video. Then The Wolf of Oren-Yaro, I read that, I gave it 3 stars. I'm now unhauling it. A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. I put this on the list every single year, and every single year I do not read it because I'm afraid of that book because I know that it's emotional. And the last one was The Bully Itself by Joe Abercrombie, which I read this. I read it because I'm reading along with the Catch Up Book Club. I give this 4 stars. I give the second book in the series 3 stars, and I'm going to be reading the third one soon enough. So I'm hoping that I'll like it more. But yeah, I didn't love the series as much as I thought I would. And the next that I did was Anticipated, and let me tell you, I'm doing really well at keeping up with my anticipated releases. So I will say there is like a couple that have been announced throughout the year that I haven't read or picked up. January I had down Chain of Thorns and Lost in the Moment and Found. I've read both of them. Chain of Thorns was 3 stars, Lost in the Moment and Found was 4 stars. February, well, originally was Amina Al-Sarafi, but then I got moved to March. So then in March I have the Anthropocene reviewed paperback, which I had already read, but I now own that. That was why it was anticipated. And I have also reread it, including the bonus essays in the paperback, and I still love that book. Then I read The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi. I gave that 4 stars. Then also The Luminaries paperback was released in March and I read that and I gave that 4 stars. Then April, I didn't have anything down. May was The Witch King by Martha Wells and I have not read that yet. And then June, my anticipated release was The Golden Enclave, so by Naomi Novik. The paperback was coming out in June and I actually ended up reading it before the paperback came out. I was planning on waiting, but then I wanted to do my ranking Naomi Novik video, which I'll leave linked down below. I wanted to get that done, so I ended up just listening to the audiobook, but I will actually buy the paperback anyway because I like it. So those were all of my anticipated for the first half of the year, so I'm doing pretty good. And so it's only The Witch King that I haven't read. So channel goals, I had 2 pieces of content a week, either 2 videos or like videos and sprints. I've kind of done this. I'm getting there. Like most of the times I have 2 videos a week, so I'm proud of myself. More ranking authors. I mean, I already have done 1, so technically I've done it. And also I am getting close to being able to do Range Pecco's one, so that's good. Then more themed reading blogs. I've been doing a lot of themed reading blogs lately, I think. I'm doing a pretty good job at those. And then also bring back my TBR game, which I did. And then my reading goals were read 100 books, which obviously I have not read that yet, but I have, at the point I'm filming, 66, and hopefully by the end of June I'm going to be up to like 70, I would say at least. I also had read 5 to 10 indie/self-love books, and I have done this. I kind of did it accidentally though. Small Miracles, Stargazy Pie, Satan's Affair, There Are No Saints, Still Beating, Haunting Adeline, Sword of Kaigan. I think that's all. Yeah, so that's up to 8. So that's good. I wanted to read 12 books over 500 pages. So basically I want to read 1 book a month that was over 500 pages. And I have already completed this goal. Usually I do lean towards bigger books anyway. But last year during my huge life slump, I ended up kind of gravitating towards smaller books. I'm definitely back in my reading mojo because, as I said, I've already read over 12 books that have 500 pages in them. Then get my own TBR down to between 10 and 15 books is the goal, and I actually have a spreadsheet with all of the books that I have. So let me just double check. 28 books. So I've got some work to do. I need to stop buying books and start reading books, but I definitely think I should be able to do that. I should be able to do that before the end of the year. And then my last goal was to get my currently reading series down to 15. And for this, I'm gonna put a picture up on the screen of my series tracker. So I keep intending to like make a video going through my series tracker, but the thing is I hate my series tracker and I want to make a new one actually in like either Excel or Google Sheets where I like color code it and all of that. But also I'm just really lazy as a person, so I don't want to do it. The reason why I'm being so about making that is because I have 146 series that I've ever started. Yeah, it's a little excessive. So I will say majority of those, I think 2/3 of those are either finished or DNF'd. I have finished 58 series out of that 148. I have DNF'd 47. In my up-to-date, I have 18. I want to get them down to 15. I'm currently reading 23 series.
So I'm not going to go through some of the most basic stats, but so far this year I've read 28,404 pages across 70 books. The format of these books is 21 audiobooks, 10 ebooks, 25 physical, 13 were mixed, so that's usually physical and audio, but sometimes ebook and audio, and then 1 graphic novel / manga. So then for ratings, I had 1 1-star, 7 2-stars, 16 3-stars, 34 4-stars, and 11 5-stars. And I did forget to put it in, but I did have 1 book that I didn't rate. Also, some of those 5 stars are rereads as well as some of those 4 stars. Then the age range, I read 59 adult books, 10 YA, and 1 middle grade.
So thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!